Well, everybody, the Jags have officially beaten the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. What an absolute game, might I add, from the NFL last night. We're going to break that down, of course, in our NFL reaction video today later, so stay tuned for that. However, in today's first video, we're going to talk, of course, about the ACC games that were played this weekend. We're going to break them down, talk about them, give my thoughts on, of course, who I think are contenders in this conference and who's a pretender. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Later today, we will, of course, have our ACC weekly prediction video where we are predicting week number 7. It's absolutely wild that we are already at week 7 of the college football world. But, again, time flies when you're having fun. And, of course, once football season hit, it's been go, 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 which is good. Of course, keeps everyone busy watching college football, all of that stuff. So, if you're into college football, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. Like I said, later today, we'll have ACC predictions and NFL reactions for this week as well, with tomorrow having, of course, our Big Ten reaction and prediction video and our NFL prediction video. So, lots of content coming your guys' way. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into these ACC week number 6 reactions. Alright, so kicking us off here, we did have a really interesting matchup at 11 o'clock that I thought was going to be a lot closer of a game, but it was not. Clemson going into North Carolina. Clemson getting the job done. Cade Klubnik, and do we think the Tigers are back, really, ladies and gentlemen? Like, what are we talking about when Clemson is back, right? They're 2-2 on the year, 1-1 in ACC play now. They beat a sorry North Carolina football team. Let's just be real. Gio Lopez was banged up. The defense for North Carolina was also very injured as well. North Carolina's off to a 2-3 start and an 0-1 start in ACC conference play. I saw a video of where the fans were clearing out at halftime, which is absolutely wild. The Bill Belichick era is not off to a great start, to say the least, as Clemson gets the job done on the road. They're now 2-2 on the year with wins over Troy and North Carolina. So, again, if people want to talk about Clemson being back, then I don't know what this college football world has come to, because the Tigers aren't back. They haven't beaten anybody good at all. They lost to LSU. Of course, they lost again, and it's their second game of the year. So, we'll see if Clemson can kind of manage this ACC schedule that they've been doing for a really long time now. But as of now, Clemson is not back. They just got a win over a sorry North Carolina football team. Now, moving on to the next game, it was an overtime game, a very good overtime game in the early window. We had Virginia going into Louisville. Virginia getting the job done in another overtime game for the Cavaliers. They are 5-1 on the year. And this Virginia team might be legit. Their offense is really good. The quarterback, Miller Moss, though, for Louisville, did struggle in overtime, right? And that's kind of where the defense for Virginia stepped up a little bit. That's what ultimately sealed the deal for, of course, Virginia to get the job done in overtime. So this Virginia team is legit, don't get me wrong, but Miller Moss is going to be a really good quarterback for the Cardinals. I think if he stays one more year at Louisville, they're going to be a threat in this ACC conference. They're 4-1. Both teams are 5-1, 4-1 now on the year, but Virginia looking really good, and they are ranked in the top 25 after that overtime win at Louisville. Moving on is Boston College at Pittsburgh. We won't talk about this game too much because it was a blowout, but Pitt getting the job done, and I actually predicted Boston College to get the win on the road this week, but the Pittsburgh quarterback did have over 300 passing yards, 4 touchdowns on the day, so a good confidence-building game for the Pittsburgh Panthers. They're now 3-2. Maybe they make a bowl game. We shall see if Pittsburgh can do that. But they got to string together some wins if they want to make a bowl game, as they improved to 3-2 on the year. Moving on to our next matchup is Wake Forest at Virginia Tech. The ACC produced some pretty good games this weekend, because a lot of these games were a lot better than the SEC games and the Big Ten games and all that. Let's just be real. But Wake Forest did ultimately get the job done on the road at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech sold, man. They obviously were hanging in there. Wake Forest scored 21 points in the second quarter of the game, which ultimately did give them the win. Robbie Ashford, 246, 1 touchdown on the day. The Virginia Tech running back 82 rushing yards as well, and the Wake Forest wide receiver having 88 yards. So Wake Forest was getting the ball to their playmakers a lot, which is ultimately what you want to see, and especially with an experienced quarterback like Robbie Ashford in college football. They just beat up on a really good Virginia Tech team, and I am shocked that they did struggle with that. But ultimately, they do get the job done. They are now 3-2 in conference play. Moving on, it's Campbell at NC State. We won't talk about this game too much because NC State did get the job done. Bailey, the quarterback for NC State, 300-plus passing yards, 4 touchdowns on the day. A little light day at the office on a very sorry Campbell defense. I thought this was going to be a blowout, and that is ultimately what it was. As NC State rather gets the job done at home in that matchup. Syracuse at SMU. Jennings throwing for 265, 4 touchdowns on the day. Kind of expected. SMU getting the job done over a very sorry Syracuse defense. Syracuse's offense is legit. They can compete and put some points on the board against these really good ACC teams, but it's the defense for Syracuse that has me questionable, right? Last year, it was the opposite. The defense was really good, and ultimately what led to being Miami in the final week of the regular season, all that stuff. But Syracuse now, their offense is really good. Their defense is just absolutely crap. They allowed 31 points. Their offense could put up some points, and we saw a little bit of that in the fourth quarter where they scored 15 of those points. So we'll see what Syracuse could do later on down the line in this ACC conference. I don't think they're going to do much. I don't think SMU is going to do much either, but it's a great win for the Mustangs as they are now 3-2 on the year. Moving on to the nightcap game, of course, Miami going into Florida State. And don't let the score fool you, right? If you're a casual college football fan, you would have saw, hey, Miami, the game was close, right? It must have been a great game. That is wrong. Thomas Castellanos sucked this game. Let's be real. The offense for Florida State was not as good as it was hyped up to be. And I don't know if it was a playing Miami type of thing. I don't know if Miami's defense is actually really good this year with Antonio Kite and, of course, some of their other really good defensive backs that they have. But Thomas Castellanos was the leading, of course, passer in this game. He just didn't look good at all, right? Thomas Castellanos, 272, 2 touchdowns on the day. Florida State, of course, trying to come back there at the end. Miami's defense, though, is really, really good this year. And Carson Beck, with an experienced quarterback, they are insanely good. They should be the #1 team in the country within the next couple of weeks. I have no doubt about it. Miami is the best team in the nation at this point in time. Moving on to the final game of the day. It is Duke versus Cal. When I went to bed, Cal was up 14-7. Duke, 24 points in the second quarter. They scored 21 points unanswered, ladies and gentlemen. They balled out, and I believe a large part of that was to the defense, right? Obviously, Duke's running back had 2 touchdowns. The Duke wide receiver had a touchdown. Messiah, the quarterback for Duke, did throw for 2 touchdowns. But the defense in that third quarter held Cal to 0 points, and ultimately that is what got them the win, and that's kind of what sparked them to say, hey, we can do this thing and absolutely close it out as Duke gets the win on the road at Cal. A classic Brian Harsin sell as Duke goes on the road and beats Cal. But you guys, let me know, of course, your thoughts about these ACC reactions in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Again, later today, we will, of course, have ACC predictions, so stay tuned for that. We'll also have NFL reactions, so stay tuned for that one as well. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.